Hey guys, welcome back. I posted this look on somewhere, I can't remember where, and I asked, maybe it was Instagram, I can't remember, and I asked if you wanted to see a tutorial. So since the base is like nothing really different than what I typically do, I figured we would focus on the eye look because that's really where the magic is. So this is basically like a universally flattering makeup look. If you have any room to work with, listen, if you have really low brows and super hooded eyes, then like you're probably not going to be able to pull it off. I got videos for you. They're around here. But for the most part, if you have any room to work with, you can create this makeup look on your eye shape. I feel like it's very much a go-to for a lot of celebrity makeup artists to do on celebs. Because it's just universally flattering. So we're just gonna get right into it. So I've already primed my eyes with Urban Decay Primer Potion. Now what I'm gonna do, just to help my blending, is apply a little bit of translucent powder. I'm using Givenchy Prism Libre, just to make sure that my blend is nice and seamless. Because this is really all about the blending. I'm not really going in with any shimmer, it's mostly matte anyway. So basically you're just gonna want a neutral palette that is going to have like a nice variety of shadows that are gonna go from like slightly lighter than your skin tone to slightly darker. It's gonna depend on you personally. I'll link some of my favorites down below. Makeup by Mario. Please will you bring this back? Please bring it back. This is the Ethereal Eyes palette and it's just like so perfect for this, but it was like a limited edition or something, so I'm not gonna use it, but it's so good. Please bring it back. That's all I have to say about that. Today I'm going to be, well, I have 3 Sigma palettes that I'm probably gonna go between. I have they just launched these really cute little like quads. So I'm gonna probably use Nutty from Creme Brulee. And then I might dip into these 2 shades from Tiramisu. And I'm gonna start off with my Refer 28 brush, this little flat brush. Pick up Java from the Tiramisu palette. And I'm gonna use this to go around the crease. So obviously you can kind of see like where my eyelid naturally has like a fold in it. I'm gonna go just above that crease. And I'm gonna gently lay this in to like kind of carve out where I want the definition of my eye socket to be. So slightly above and around, bringing it lightly in here and then out here. I'm going to bring it out a little bit, and then as I get out here I'm just going to kind of flatten my brush a little and do a little bit of swiping, blending. So I like to make sure that both sides are relatively even before I move on to other steps. I really don't like doing one whole eye and then replicating because I just personally find it difficult to get them even when I do that. If you struggle with that kind of thing, I would definitely recommend going little by little on each eye and doing them at the same time. Just going back and forth to make sure that I'm creating the shape that I want. Slowly building that up on the outer part of the crease and blending out towards the tail slightly. The tail of my brow. The tail. What? I'm just wiping off my brush so that it's like mostly clean, just like a little bit of pigment on it, and I'm just going in and kind of blending around those edges. Again, keeping my brush like a little bit flatter. I'm going to pick up Java once again, and I'm going to, from the outer corner of the lid, connect to this little shape we created. I'm just going to slowly kind of like buff it into the lash line, mostly focusing it on that outer corner though. But just connecting these 2 little sections here. If you kind of like run into any areas that are really difficult to blend, rather than swiping, like if that's just seems to not work for you, like this area just kind of like gets a little crepey for me, go like this, just press press the shadow in those areas really gently. And that allows you to kind of like place down pigment without getting that skipping. Now I'm going to take that same color on that same brush, and from that outer corner, I'm gonna run that starting on, did I just say outer corner? Yeah, duh. Starting on the outer corner. I'm gonna start buffing that really gently all the way on the lash line to like just the inner part, but I'm kind of like tapering it a little bit closer to the lash line as I get there. So the majority of the pigment is here, blending it inward, and then we're gonna go back and just blend it downward. And you can smoke this out as much as you want. It just kind of depends on like what your preference is. You can keep it like tight to the lash line. You can just kind of like enhance right here. It's, you know, whatever you prefer, to be honest. I personally want to make it like a little smoky. Just making sure to connect back up to the top. Same steps, blah, 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 blah. All right, using my Rougher 13 brush, which is just like a little blending brush, I'm gonna pick up Nutty from the Creme Brulee palette. It says it right there, I don't know why I turned it around. So making sure to tap off my brush, and I'm just gonna blend over this really lightly, because this is a quite cool toned shade, and I just wanna add a teeny bit of warmth. I'm kind of thinking of this as the same way that I think of doing my like contour and bronzer for my face. Again, if you don't want it to get super smoky, you can skip this part. Or you can just like initially go in with a warm color depending on your skin tone and how you want it to look. Lately I've been wanting to do the most though. Oh no, that's pretty good. For my upper lash line and waterline, I'm gonna use this eyeliner from Make Beauty. This is the Continuum waterproof eyeliner. It has a little brush in the butt and a little sharpener, which is really nice. So run this in my upper waterline or tight line or whatever the hell people call it, I don't know. So that that's nice and seamless. And then I'm going to pat this on the outer part of my lash line, taking it tighter as I go in. I'm going to use the little brush to just kind of like pat. I don't really like to swipe with these brushes, but just pat it. So I'm just thickening up the lash line. Especially focusing it on the outer corner. And this is really just going to act as a base for the eyeshadow that I'm going to use to blend. So now I'm going to grab, also from the Creme Brulee palette, I'm going to grab Riddle. It's a nice like dark warm brown. And I'm going to look straight ahead into my mirror, and I'm going to pat this on that eyeliner. Again, tapering. Using the light hand and tapering, I just want to kind of like fade it as I go in a little bit further, and then just blending into that like nice cat eye shape really lightly. Light hand as I get closer to the outer part, and then I'm going to kind of like angle my brush this way, like that, and I'm going to start blending into that first color. So just softening this area. So I'm not really creating like a wing. We've already got this nice cat shape. So I'm just gonna kind of like soften this whole transition here from the eye. If you're like me and this area looks a little bit like heavy when you're straight ahead, you can just kind of like look, like angle your face and then just fill that in if it looks a little strange. If you already have your base on, remember to tap your brush off so that you're not going in with too much pigment that's going to get all over your like nicely concealed under eyes. It's always this eye. It's always this eye that I have to pat. I don't know why. I just get skipping for some reason. And then I'm going to grab that same color, same brush. We've like hardly changed brushes. And I'm just going to deepen up right against the lash line here. And I'm not going to connect it this time. Upward. Just here, from like the center to there. Just deepening that up a little bit. Okay, game-changing trick here. I'm gonna use this little guy. This is from Essence. It's the Stay and Play Gel Eyeliner in the shade Silky Nude. Any nude eyeliner is fine, but I really have been liking this one. From the outer, I just did this in my makeup for when you've been crying and you want to look more awake or happy or whatever I did. I'm gonna place this, not in the whole waterline, but just here. Just on the outer corner of the waterline. And then I'm gonna extend it a little bit. Then I'm just gonna use a little tiny brush to kind of like press that into the skin and just fade it so it doesn't look weird. Just like that. Isn't that such a nice little detail? It just like helps to kind of like open up the eyes in a sultry way. I've been doing this for like every makeup look recently. I don't know when I'm gonna get sick of it. Okay, and now for the lid. If you want more of like an undone kind of like naked lid look, you can just kind of take any blending brush and just blend between whatever is there. I'll show you actually, since we're here. So I'm using a brush that I used to blend, I think the warmer shade. And I'm not going in with any additional product. I'm literally just buffing into this little crease area, over the liner slightly, just blending it so that this doesn't look like completely undone. So when I look down or I close my eyes, it still looks kind of undone. It still kind of looks like my skin. It looks like you're not trying too hard, you know, because we've already got like so much glam going on, but it doesn't look like undone like this. Like this just kind of looks like messy and undone. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So you could just leave it like that. You could go in with a little bit of your translucent powder, or you could go in with a lighter shadow and mix it with one of the like contour colors that you used. This is the Viseart palette, which I really love. I think I'm gonna kind of like go between this peach and this color right here. I'm just gonna tap between those two to kind of create like a custom color for myself. I'm gonna go back to the 28 brush. I'm just gonna wipe it off. I'm just patting between those two shades. And then I'm just going to really lightly blend that lid. So it's actually kind of like the color that of my lid that I like created when I just kind of went in with no additional product. But it just kind of helps to like soften and blend. If you feel like this looks too undone. Kind of still have the same effect, but it's a little softer. All right, guys, here's the finished eye look. I just popped on some mascara and like the teeniest amount of a shimmer in my inner corner and brow bone. Well, okay, the brow bone's a little metallic, but the inner corner is just like a little bit. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely got like a little bit smokier than the first time that I wore it, so just keep in mind that like that's an option. You can make it as smoky as you want, depending on like how much room you have to work with. You can keep it a little bit tighter. You can keep it a little bit warmer, a little bit more cool tone. It's totally up to you. You could do shimmer on the lid, you know. You got a lot of options here, and it's just such a flattering shape. It's really stunning, and it looks fantastic on, I would say, like most people. You're gonna, like, now that you've seen this, you're going to see it on celebrities everywhere. Like, I swear, you're gonna be like, oh, yeah, she wore this here. Promise you. I hope that this was helpful in some way. Let me know if you're gonna try this or if you have worn it, you know? As always, please like and subscribe and comment and turn on notifications and all that stuff. For me. for little old me. And let me know if there are any other eye looks, maybe like classic eyeshadow looks that you have really been wanting an eyeshadow tutorial for because you see it so much and it looks beautiful on everybody. And you're like, how do you do that? That's what I'm here for, okay? Love you. I really need to go make dinner. And these cats need to eat because they will not leave me alone. Ziva, are you hungry? All right, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.